Good evening, everybody. I'm Navneet Kaur. I am a licensed clinical psychologist with a degree in MPhil in clinical psychology from Government Medical College, Chandigarh. Currently, I'm a consultant at V Medica Clinics, DLF4, Gurgaon. As an initiative towards mental health, this being the first of the many series on mental health, the first topic of the series being depression. Now, the reason why I thought it was important to talk on a subject like depression is because of the increase in the prevalence of the mood disorders in 2020. As per a lot of studies, the depression cases have tripled since COVID 2019. Now, before we can talk about clinical depression, we all of us are aware that millions of people all around the world, they experience some kind of sadness at some point of their lives. However, it's very important to recognize the difference between depression and the emotion of sadness. Now, feeling sad is a very integral part of depression, but they are not the same. Now, knowing and understanding the difference between the two can help a person to recognize when to seek treatment and process both in a more healthful manner. As I said, feeling sad is an integral part of depression and is a normal human emotion that every single person will experience at some point of their time because of some stressful event. Now, there could be a number of stressful events a person might encounter or leave a person feeling sad or unhappy. It could be loss of a loved one, it could be divorce, it could be financial trouble, it could be issues at home, interpersonal issues or relationships, which could all affect the mood in a very negative manner. It could be failing an exam, it could be not getting a job, it could be experiencing any other disappointing event that could be a trigger for sadness. However, a person experiencing sadness usually tends to get some relief in some form of a protective factor. For instance, by crying or ventilation, talking to a relative, a family member, some sort of an exercise, meditation, mindfulness techniques. More often than that, sadness generally has links to a specific trigger. At this point, one might consider going to a counseling psychologist who might help with techniques such as problem solving or ventilation for that matter. Now, sadness usually passes with time. It goes. However, if it does not pass, or if a person feels he's not able to resume normal functioning, or he starts having dysfunction in his social life, in his occupational life, in his personal life, for instance, not being able to go to work, simple things like getting out of the bed or going for a shower takes immense amount of energy. Doing normal daily chores which would not take that much energy in the past, now that all those things feel like a lot of work, a lot of energy. If a person feels there are a lot of crying spells and a pervasive sadness in all of the domains of their life, those could be signs and symptoms of depression. If there are indications of the low mood getting worse or lasting longer than 2 weeks, it's suggested the person seeks treatment or goes and speaks to a licensed clinical psychologist. Now, depression is a mental disorder which can have a very overpowering effect on many parts of a person's life. Now, the mood disorder, it may descend seemingly out of the blue, or it may come on the heels of a defeat or personal loss, producing persistent feelings of sadness, worthlessness, helplessness, pessimism, feelings of guilt. Depression also interferes with things like concentration, with motivation, interest levels. It could also impact the physiological symptomatology of our body. It could have an impact on appetite. It could increase the appetite. It could decrease the appetite. On the sleep regulations, it could disrupt the sleep patterns. Now, if at this point someone feels that the feeling of pervasive sadness, which might be hampering the normal functioning, and any attempts to bounce back are simply not working out, it is suggested one should go to a licensed clinical psychologist to rule out clinical depression. Now, the guidelines of WHO and NICE, they say that mild and moderate depression can be managed by a clinical psychologist with the help of effective and evidence-based psychotherapies. Now, during a lot of times when the clinical psychologist might feel that maybe the symptomatology of the depression, or the signs or the symptoms of depression are not reducing, MD psychiatrist might also be involved. A lot of times, a lot of people, they resort to means like self-medication, or they might go to a chemist, or go to a general medical practitioner. However, it's always recommended to seek help from a MD psychiatrist. Now, to summarize today's talk, it's very important to distinguish between feelings of sadness as an emotion and clinical depression. Second, if you feel you're not able to deal with sadness alone, and you could use some help, it's recommended you go to a counseling psychologist. Third, even after you feel the sadness is turning into a pervasive pattern, and it started to impact your normal functioning, and all the attempts to bounce back are all futile, are in vain, and the symptoms are longer than 15 days, it's recommended you seek help and consult with a RCI licensed clinical psychologist to rule out clinical depression. Now, this was just an attempt to raise awareness about a little bit of introduction on depression. We will be talking a little more about depression in the following videos. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much.